Assalamu alaikum. I hope all of you are doing well. With this lesson, we begin Book 3 of Medina Arabic Reader series. We have previously covered Book 1 and Book 2, and now we are starting Book 3. From now on, I'll be explaining the grammar of each lesson before reading and translating the lesson. But if you want to skip the grammar part, you can jump to the reading part by using the chapters of the video here. This is the first lesson of Book 3. So without further ado, let's jump right into the grammar part of it. So there are some new words in this lesson that we haven't discussed in our previous lessons. The words are inna, la'alla, dhu. Now let's try to understand what these words mean. Now inna is a word that we use with a nominal sentence. So before talking about inna, let's learn what a nominal sentence is. So basically there are two types of sentences in Arabic. The first type is called al-jumlatul ismiya, or the nominal sentence. And the second type of sentence is called al-jumlatul fi'liya, or the verbal sentence. The nominal sentence is a sentence that begins with a noun. In other words, the first word of this sentence is a noun. For example, al-kitabu sahlun, the book is easy. Now this sentence begins with the word al-kitab, and as you know, al-kitab is a noun. The second type of sentence is called the verbal sentence, and it is a sentence that begins with a verb. The first word of this sentence is a verb. That is why it's called a verbal sentence. An example of verbal sentence is kharaja Bilal. Bilal went out. Kharaja is a verb. So there are basically these two types of sentences in Arabic. Now inna is a word that is used with a nominal sentence. For example, al-kitabu sahlun is a nominal sentence. If you use inna with this sentence, it will become inna al-kitaba sahlun. Now inna means verily, surely, certainly. That is the meaning of inna. Al-kitabu sahlun means the book is easy, but inna al-kitaba sahlun means verily, surely the book is easy. Now grammatically, what inna does to the noun that follows it is that it gives fatha to the noun. For example, here, al-kitabu sahlun, al-kitabu, it has dhamma, but when you put inna before al-kitabu, it becomes inna al-kitaba sahlun. So what inna grammatically does is that it gives fatha or double fathas to the noun that follows it. So if the noun previously had a single dhamma, it will have a single fatha, and if it had double dhammas, it will have double fathas after it follows inna. Another word that functions just like inna but has a different meaning is la'alla. La'alla means I hope or I am afraid. For example, al-jawwu jamilun, the weather is beautiful. If you put la'alla before it, it becomes la'alla al-jawwa jamilun, I hope the weather is fine. La'alla can also mean I am afraid. La'alla al-mudarrisa marid, I am afraid the teacher is sick. You will have to look at the context to find out what la'alla means, whether it means I hope or I am afraid. The next word that we learn here is dhu. Now dhu is a word that we use to show physician. Dhu malin, somebody who has wealth or wealthy. Now dhu always occurs in a sentence as a mudhaf, and the noun that follows it is mudhaf ilay. And we know from previous lessons that mudhaf ilay will have kasra under it. And therefore every noun that follows dhu will have kasra or kasratain under it. For example, dhu malin means wealthy. Here dhu means somebody who possesses, and mal means wealth. Dhu malin, wealthy. Dhu ilmin, somebody who has knowledge, knowledgeable. Dhu ilmin. Ilmin, as you can see, has two kasras under it. That is because it's mudhaf ilay. Now let's read the lesson 1 of book 3. Ad-darsul awwal, lesson 1. Hashim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Al-mudarris. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. هاشم: كيف حالك يا أستاذ؟ لعلك بخير. كيف حالك? How are you? يا أستاذ, O teacher. لعلك بخير. I hope you are fine. المدرس, the teacher. الحمد لله, praise be to God. وكيف حالك أنت يا هاشم? And how are you, O هاشم? أنا أحبك كثيرا. I love you very much, يا هاشم, O هاشم. إنك طالب ذكي ومجتهد وذو خلق. Verily, you are an intelligent student, ومجتهد, and hardworking, وذو خلق, and well-mannered. أمن باكستان أنت أم من الهند يا هاشم? Are you from Pakistan? أم من الهند, or from India يا هاشم أو هاشم. هاشم إني من الهند. I am from India. المدرس وزميلك الذي خرج معك and your classmate الذي هو خرج معك who went out with you الآن now من الفصل from the room أهو أيضا من الهند is he also from India. هاشم لا no إنه من باكستان surely he is from Pakistan. المدرس إن ساعتك جميلة verily your watch is nice يا هاشم أو هاشم. أمن اليابان هي is it from Japan. هاشم لا no إنها من الهند it is from India. المدرس أغالية هي أم رخيصة is it expensive or inexpensive. إنها رخيصة جدا indeed it is very inexpensive. إنها ب100 روبية فقط it costs only 100 rupees. المدرس كم أخا لك يا هاشم how many brothers do you have يا هاشم. هاشم لي 3 إخوة I have 3 brothers. المدرس الطلاب هم are they students. هاشم لا no إنهم تجار they are businessmen. المدرس وكم أختا لك and how many sisters do you have. هاشم لي 4 أخوات I have 4 sisters. المدرس the teacher أفي الهند هن الآن are they in India now. هاشم لا no إنهن هنا they are here بالمدينة المنورة in مدينة منورة مع أبي وأمي with my father and mother. المدرس the teacher الطالبات هن are they students. هاشم لا no إنهن مدرسات they are teachers بالمدرسة الثانوية in the secondary school. That's it for today. I'll see you in the next lesson inshallah.